Okay, so let me tell you about a developer named Stefan Meninen. When you first look at his work, it kind of seems like a series of half-finished ideas and weird choices. But what if I told you that all those seemingly abandoned projects are actually clues? Clues to a way of thinking that is incredibly unique and, believe it or not, perfectly logical. Let's dig in.
So, here's our first puzzle. Imagine spending a ton of time and energy building this amazing, super advanced blog from scratch. A real technical achievement, you know? And then, you just don't write anything in it. Why would anyone do all that work just to leave it empty? And then there's this. He's made some really popular, genuinely helpful apps that people actually use. Now, the obvious move would be to charge for them, right? Make a pro version, maybe a subscription. But nope, he keeps them totally free. Why would you just leave that money on the table?
This one might be the biggest head-scratcher of all. He goes and builds his own email server. We're talking complex, secure, redundant, the whole shebang, a dream setup. And yet, for his everyday emails, he just uses Gmail. It just doesn't seem to make any sense.
So what is going on here? You look at this pattern, and it's easy to see failure. Abandoned projects, missed business opportunities. But here's the twist. These aren't failures at all. In fact, every single one of these decisions is the perfectly logical result of how his mind is wired.
To really get it, we have to stop looking at what he did and start asking why he did it. The answer isn't in the code or the projects themselves, it's in the unique blueprint of his mind. A medical analysis pointed to this one key concept, luststöd. It's a Swedish word that basically means interest-driven. Think of it like this. His brain has this incredibly powerful engine, right? But the ignition key only works for certain things, tasks that are a real challenge, something new and novel, or something he finds truly meaningful. For everything else, the engine just won't turn over.
And this isn't just some personality quirk. It's actually backed up by his official medical profile. He has diagnoses of Asperger's syndrome and ADHD, which together create this very specific neuroprofile. And that right there, that's the key that's going to unlock all of these puzzles for us.
Okay, so now that we have the key, let's go back to those head-scratchers from the beginning. Because when you look at them through this lens, they suddenly make complete and total sense.
First up, let's talk about that beautiful ghost town of a blog. Why build it just to abandon it?
Well, the answer is actually really simple. For him, the real puzzle was never about the content. It was about the technology. He wasn't trying to be a blogger. He was trying to solve the architectural challenge of building the platform itself. That was the fun part.
And here's the crucial part. As soon as that technical puzzle was solved, as soon as the thing worked perfectly, that interest-driven engine just switched off. The challenge was over. So in his mind, the project wasn't abandoned, it was finished. The goal had been achieved.
So what about the next puzzle? Why on earth give away perfectly good apps for free?
Think about it. The second he starts charging money, his passion project turns into a job. It becomes an obligation. Suddenly, he's dealing with customer demands, deadlines, bug reports, all the stuff that completely kills the joy of creating for an interest-driven brain.
So, keeping the apps free isn't a bad business choice. It's a brilliant defense mechanism. It's how he protects his freedom and his creative energy. He gets to work on them when he's inspired, not when a customer is demanding a new feature. He stays in complete control.
Okay, that last puzzle about the email server, it reveals this really interesting split in how he thinks. It's like there are two different people at work, the architect and the user. You see, the architect part of his brain gets a huge thrill from the intellectual challenge of building a perfect, secure, complicated system. It's a fantastic puzzle. But then there's the user part of him who just needs to fire off a quick email. The user doesn't care about the architecture. He just needs something that works, something simple and maintenance-free. And that's the genius of it. Building the server, that was for the architect. That was the challenge, the fun part. But using it for boring, everyday emails, that offers zero stimulation. It's a chore. So he uses Gmail to outsource the boring stuff. It's not a contradiction. It's actually an incredibly efficient system.
But you know, this goes deeper than just the wiring of his brain. When you look at all his projects together, you start to see a really strong, consistent philosophy running through them, a personal code of integrity. I mean, just look at the features he prioritizes. His finance planner app, 100% private and encrypted. Another app, lest we forget, stores all your data right there on your device, securely. There's a clear pattern here.
Everything is built around protecting the user's privacy and giving them control.
And that's because, at his core, he just prefers control and transparency. He's not a fan of those ready-made cloud services where your data goes into a black box and you have no idea what's happening to it. He builds his own stuff not just for the challenge, but because he believes in knowing exactly how things work.
When you put all these pieces together, it really forces you to take a step back and question our whole idea of what success and failure even mean. What we've been looking at, it isn't a graveyard of unfinished projects. It's a finely tuned, highly evolved personal system, and it's designed for one main purpose: to protect his creative energy and his personal freedom, so he can focus only on the things that truly matter to him.
It all comes down to this simple, powerful idea: he will not sell his skills if the price is his freedom. And his interest just evaporates the moment the intellectual puzzle is solved. It's a crystal clear statement of his priorities: freedom over obligation, challenge over routine.
And that kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? We're all taught that success means finishing what you start, seeing things through to the end. But what if that's not the only definition? What if, for some of us, true success isn't about the finished product at all, but about having the freedom to only ever work on the puzzles that truly light you up? What if the real prize is the chase itself,